Hi friends, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about defining your business. You need to decide how you want to set up your business legally. Your choices are sole proprietorship, partnership or corporation, that's private limited company. There are pluses and minuses, advantages and disadvantages to all three types of businesses. This video touches on the basics, but if you are in doubt about which type of business would benefit you the most, contact a lawyer or legal advisor and discuss your options. The first option is sole proprietorship. In this type of business, you are it, numero uno. There is no one to challenge your decisions or tell you how to spend the company's money. All the profits made are yours. There is no one to share them with. On the other hand, there is no one to confer with when problems arise. No one to deal with the irate customer when you have a headache, and your opinion is it when trying to decide on the right advertising campaign. You are personally liable as a sole proprietor for all business loans and accounts that you sign for. If a family member of yours has an operation or something else prevents you from completing your work on time, there will be no one else to take care of your firm while you are out of income. The next option is partnership. This type of business can be tricky. Many people go into business with a friend, acquaintance or a family member and experience huge success. On the other hand, many friendships have been broken and family relationships become unpleasant because the partnership went bad. If you are thinking of going into business with someone, make sure you are compatible in every way. When starting this type of business, a partnership agreement is mandatory. A partnership agreement is mandatory. This agreement is prepared by an attorney and it can be costly. It will outline every aspect of your business and answer tricky questions on the chance that they arise. For instance, imagine that you went into business with your best friend. You are the outgoing designer who prefers to work with residential clients, while your partner is a business-minded designer who thrives in the corporate atmosphere. It sounds like the perfect match, so you skip the partnership agreement. After all, if you can't trust your best friend, whom can you trust? Everything goes fine for the first 4 years. The business is turning a profit and both of you are living quite comfortably. You are acquiring a large share of the marketplace and your competitors are getting nervous. One of them makes you an offer to buy your business at a substantial profit. You want to jump at the chance. It would mean a lot of upfront cash in your pocket. But your business-minded partner sees the potential of the business and is willing to spend the next 5 to 10 years building it up before even considering a sale. The two of you are at a standstill, each firmly believing you are right. The partnership is in a toss and there is no legal backup. If you had a partnership agreement, there would not be a problem. The partnership agreement would have answered that question before it arose. Everything would have been worked out beforehand and there would be no surprises. Another way to safeguard your business is to invest in partnership insurance, which covers you against any lawsuits arising from your partner's actions. Try to find a partner who has the skills that you lack. If you are great in marketing for new customers but lack management skills, be sure your partner is management material. One benefit to having a partner is that your partner will be contributing to the finances of the company in addition to drawing the profits. Another advantage is that you will not be entirely responsible for everything. If you get that headache, there will be someone to deal with the irate customer. The key to the success of the partnership is finding the right partner, not an easy task. The next option is corporation. Interior design businesses are best set up as corporations. unlike most small businesses, liabilities can be substantial. Even if you're doing only a modest amount of business, your ongoing accounts could easily total Indian currency of 1.5 lakh at any given time. In a corporation, unlike a sole proprietorship, the corporation is responsible for any debts or loans incurred, not you personally. Your tax structure will be different if you decide to incorporate. You will probably need to hire a chartered accountant or a company secretary to explain the ins and outs of the corporate tax laws. The initial fees are higher in this type of business, but they will pay off in the long run. Moving on, existing businesses and franchises. You have the option of buying a design firm that has been in business for a while, or buying a franchisee, which is the name and operation procedures of a known existing company. Let's discuss each of this. Existing companies. In any newspaper in any town, you can find interior design businesses for sale. Wouldn't it be easier for me to buy one that is already up and running, you ask? Probably not. The business is commonly referred to as a blue sky business, meaning that there are no assets, no equipment or tools that have any real world value. The biggest asset in this type of company is you, the designer, and the relationship you have built with the community. Customer satisfaction is the key to a successful interior design business. There is no way of knowing a previously owned and operated business's true reputation in the marketplace. Another reason not to go this route is the money. While it is relatively inexpensive to purchase this type of business, all you are getting is the name, which you can't be sure is any good. An exception to this rule would be if you work for this firm and know the value of its current clients and further growth. The next option is franchises. There are a few design franchises on the market, but I highly recommend that you do not consider buying them. The startup costs are high, and after you have paid the initial fee, you will have to continue to pay the franchisor a portion of your retail sales for the life of your business. You will not usually be allowed to choose your own vendors in a franchisee. The franchisor will choose them for you. If you have any knowledge at all about this business, and you will after going through this course, you can start your own business for much less money and you will be truly your own boss. Your business name. Now that your office space is set up and you have decided on the legalities, it's time to name your business. The name you choose for your business is important because it portrays an image to the public, and you want to be sure is the right one. You will also have to live with the name for as long as you own your business, so make sure you are comfortable with it. There are many considerations when choosing a name for your business. The most often thought of is online directories placement. Online directories placement. Those companies whose names start with an A, alphabet A, will be listed first in the online marketing or information directories. Although that is an important consideration, there are other things to think about. The image that your business name portrays is just as important. Let's understand this with an example. If you call yourself Cost Plus Window Coverings and Design, you will reach a wide market of new homeowners and people wanting to remodel their homes. They will probably be in the market for window coverings as well as other products. They will also probably be looking for a decent price. Let's say you decide to name your business New Wave Design. New Wave Design. Some people may understand that you are an interior design shop, but others may think you are a hair studio. Let's change that and call the business New Wave Interiors. Now that the name is clear, what kind of message does it send? Most people who call New Wave Interiors would probably be interested in hiring a designer with a contemporary style of design. It might be hard to reach customers with product only needs. With a design only name, you lose out on the bulk of the product business out there. You lose out on it. This concept could be argued 1,000 different ways. In the end, your company name should reflect a product orientation. In subsequent modules, we'll use cost plus window coverings and design. Cost plus window coverings and design in examples of forms and procedures. Now let's move on. Timely tax payments. The state government requires a great deal of paperwork from small business owners. Monthly or quarterly tax filings are required. Follow the rules, be on time with tax payments, and your business should run smoothly. ShopAct certificate. This is a form that your chartered accountant will ask you to fill out as a declaration of your intention to go into business. This form registers the name you have chosen for your business. The government official will scan all the current business names on file, and if your prospective name isn't in conflict with any other business's name, a notary public will validate the document. If another business has already registered the name, you will have to choose another. Request a certified copy of this document because you will need it to set up your business bank account. The next is tax resale number. In most states, you have to charge taxes on any goods that you sell. You are in essence an agent for the state, and as such, it's your job to collect the tax due and pass it along to the state in the form of monthly or quarterly payments. Simply go to your chartered accountant and apply for a number. The tax rate varies in all states, and your chartered accountant will explain the one that applies to you. Be very careful to pay everything that is due and pay it on time. Consider setting up a separate bank account just for the sales tax and service tax you collect. This is one way to ensure that funds do not accidentally become crossed or that you are not short for the amount due. Moving on, contractor licenses. Some states require licenses for contractors doing specific jobs, while others do not require any type of contractor licenses. Check with your chartered accountant to determine what you need a license for and what requirements need to be met. Business bank account. You will need a separate bank account for your business. Most manufacturers will not set up a wholesale account with you unless there is a bank account designated for your business. You will need to show the bank a copy of your ShopAct certificate and provide them with your resale number in order to open a business account. So friends, with this we wrap up today's session. I am now excitedly looking forward to connect with you in my next video. Till then, let's work together and achieve peace of mind, financial freedom, and a career for life. Thank you.